Namaste Sarasvati Deve, Gauravani Prachalini, Lilveshesha Sunyavadi Prachalini. Sans savoir, qu'est-ce qu'on est?
Without knowledge, who are we? Idiots. Fools.
Il nous faut discriminer
We need to discriminate
pour pouvoir agir.
to act.
L'animal, lui, il vit
The
par
animal,
instinct.
he lives by instinct.
Si on ne peut pas discriminer,
If we cannot discriminate,
une chose peut nous détruire et
then
une chose peut nous libérer.
we know that something can destroy us or someone can liberate us. If we don't know this, then we're not better than an animal. You understand? It's illogical.
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait l'animal?
What does the animal
Il se
do?
défend.
He defends himself.
Quand il voit quelqu'un arriver sur son territoire,
When he sees someone
qui
coming in
regarde
his
sa compagne,
territory and who looks at his
il cherche
concert,
à manger,
he wants to
il
eat,
cherche à dormir,
he wants
il
to
cherche
sleep,
la vie sexuelle.
he's looking for sex life.
Si on n'a pas plus que ça,
If we do not have more than this, we live by instinct.
Donc, qu'est-ce qui diffère de l'animal?
So what is different
C'est
from
la
animal
connaissance qu'on peut recevoir.
is the knowledge that we can
Et cette
receive.
connaissance, si
And
elle
this
vient de
knowledge,
Dieu,
if it comes from
puisque
God,
le Seigneur est parfait,
since the Lord is perfect,
automatiquement,
automatically
on peut devenir.
we can become pure.
C'est pourquoi la
This is
connaissance
why
qu'il donne,
knowledge that He gives,
elle doit traiter essentiellement
it must,
du lien qui
it
nous
must
lie
talk
à elle.
essentially about the connection that between
Parce
us
que dans
and
ce
Him.
monde, il y a une chose
Because in
pour
this
laquelle
world, there's
on est
one
tous
thing
d'accord,
that we're all
on cherche tous la
that
vie.
we all agree is that we're all searching
Même un
for love.
barbare,
Even a
il
barbarian needs
je
love.
vois parfois, moi,
I see sometimes
des personnes barbares
people,
qui parlent
barbarian people, they speak about love.
Alors la conception de l'amour est
The
limitée.
conception of love is limited, but
Même les nazis avaient une
even the
conception
Nazis, they had a conception of love, of nation, of family, of this
Tout le
and
monde a
that.
une conception de l'amour.
Everyone has a conception of
Parce
love
que on ne
because
peut pas vivre sans amour.
we cannot live without love.
On ne peut pas vivre sans aimer.
We cannot live
Parce
without
que l'âme a des
loving
faiblesses.
because the soul is made for this.
Et d'ailleurs, Brahma explique
And Brahma explains
dans le Srimad Bhagavatam
in Srimad Bhagavatam
que cette
that this
recherche de l'amour,
search
cette
for
attirance,
love, this attraction,
kama,
kama,
la concupiscence,
we call it
la
lust,
chagrin, c'est ce qu'il fait
this is what
mouvoir ce monde.
makes
Quand
this
le
world
Seigneur
move.
crée l'univers
When the
matériel
Lord
et
creates the
injecte
material universe,
l'âme
He
dans la matrice,
infused the souls in
qu'elle
the
reçoit
matrix,
une forme de
and they receive a form of life
la création passée.
according to the previous
Et ce qui les met
creation.
en mouvement,
What is putting them into movement is the desire,
le
this desire,
désir pour chercher
this
le bonheur.
desire to look for happiness, to look for love.
Et si on regarde bien,
And if we look
pourquoi les
well,
gens s'habillent,
why people are
pourquoi les
getting
gens font des
dressed,
régimes,
why do they do diet,
pourquoi les gens veulent être ceci,
why
cela,
do they
c'est
want
juste
to be
parce
like this
qu'ils
or
ont
like
besoin
that?
d'attirer les
It's
autres.
just because they need to attract others.
Ouais ou pas?
True or not?
Donc si on est juste sur une
So if
plateforme
we're just
matérielle,
on a material
on
platform,
s'embête.
we are entangling
Parce que
ourselves
quand
in
on
the
agit dans ce monde pour
reactions of our activities, because when we act in this world, we receive a debt because we exploit this world. And this debt, it comes
forme de réaction,
in the form of reaction,
de désir,
of desire,
qui vont nous pousser
which will push
à
us
recevoir
to receive
un environnement particulier,
a specific
une
environment
conscience particulière.
and a specific consciousness.
Est-ce que pour votre fils et
For
votre
your son and
fille,
your
ceux que vous
daughter,
chérissez, vous
those
désirez quelque chose,
whom you cherish, do you desire something good,
est-ce que
or
vous voulez qu'ils restent
do
dans
you
ce
want
monde à
them
souffrir
to
comme
stay
vous
in
voulez
this world to suffer?
Personne.
Nobody.
Personne trouve le bonheur dans ce monde.
Nobody finds
Moi, je me
happiness in
rappelle
this
quand
world.
j'étais enfant,
I remember
quelque
when I
chose
was a kid,
qui m'avait choqué. C'est pour ça que
something
j'ai eu un
shocked me.
passé si
This is
mauvais.
why I had such a
Cette
bad
personne
past.
m'avait caché qu'on
This person hid to me
on n'était pas heureux.
that we were not happy in this world.
On est enfant, on
When you are a
croit
kid,
les parents,
we all want to believe our
ce
parents.
que tu veux.
We want to believe everything they say.
Ça, c'est la plus grande tricherie.
This is the greatest cheating.
C'est terrible.
It's terrible.
Sauf que moi, quand j'ouvrais
But
ma fenêtre, il y
when I
avait
was
un
opening my window, there was a building in front.
HLM en face,
There was
avec un gars qui
a
me
building
regardait
with a
du
guy
nez de poste. Il y avait
looking
un
at me,
voyeur, tu sais, qui regardait pour voir s'il voyait pas les filles.
looking to see. There was a guy who was looking with his glasses to see if he could see naked women through the windows.
Il y avait toutes sortes de personnes qui
There was all kinds of crazy people crying and screaming in the building, children crying and old men,
criaient après leur femme.
drunkards screaming after their
Donc
wife.
on sort vite de
So
l'illusion qu'on est
we
autonome.
we
Ça va
get
très
out
rapidement.
fast of the illusion. It's pretty
Surtout
fast.
quand vous allez à l'école,
Especially when you go
vous
to
êtes tout
school,
petit comme ça,
you're pretty small.
vous pouvez vous faire braquer à
You can
chaque
be
instant, vous faire tuer à
stolen
chaque
or
instant,
beaten
parce
at any
qu'ils viennent
moment
tous de
because
familles
they all
où
come
c'était les gangs presque,
from families
dans
where they're
les
coming
cités.
from gangs
Donc
in
dès que tu es
the
dans cette jungle-là, je
in
peux
the
te dire que
city.
tu comprends vite. Ça
So when
passe.
you're plunged into this, you
Soit tu te
understand well.
fais lyncher
Either
et
you are
humilier,
beaten
soit tu t'en
first,
sortais pas.
or either
Tu réagis
you
très
show
vite. C'est comme en
your
Afrique.
fist.
Ça va
You
vite.
react through pretty quick.
Ça
It's
va très
just like in
vite.
Africa. It's pretty
Et là, à
quick.
partir de là, tu te dis,
And from there, you say, "Oh,
c'est ça le monde.
this is the
J'en
world.
veux pas.
I do not want any."
Et donc,
And so
tu deviens un marginal.
we become
C'est-à-dire que tu rejettes
marginal.
la société.
That
En
means we
fait,
reject
les rappeurs, qu'est-ce
society.
qu'ils font? C'est simplement
The
ça.
rappers, what do they do? It's
Ils ont une
simply this.
vision,
They have a
ils n'ont pas de
vision,
solution.
but they do not have any
C'est ça le
solution.
problème.
This is the problem.
Ils n'ont pas de solution.
They do
Ils
not
ont
have
une
any
vision.
solution. They have
Moi,
the
surtout la
vision.
vision.
I had the vision.
Mais qu'est-ce que cette vision m'a donné?
But what is this vision?
C'est de la haine.
It's hatred.
Parce que comme je pouvais rien
Because
obtenir de
since
ce
I could not
système,
obtain
la
anything
seule
from the
façon que
system,
j'avais,
the only way I had to is to develop hatred. That's what the rappers do in the city. Why do they have hatred of the police? Because they're looking for love. And since there's no knowledge, so it comes out in the form of hatred. So what does the Supreme Lord do? He loves us. He gives us the free will. He allows us to have a world where we construct as we will. Just like children, they do Playmobil, they think that they are a creator. And even this, it is given by the Supreme Lord, because the one who has created the Playmobil, the intelligence is given by the Supreme Lord. And so, we can create a world that can be destroyed and do hurt others very quick, because knowledge is not there. Knowledge comes from a person who is trying to find a knowledge to glorify himself. This is a scientific. Yesterday I was looking at, I don't know what is his name, a searcher, a scientific, an archaeologist. He said he found something very special, and since he was not very well known, he was afraid not to have his name in the story. And when the piece was accepted in the museum, he didn't have his name presented there. So we do things to have a name. But when knowledge comes from the Supreme Lord, it allows us to understand why we suffer. It allows us to understand why we are entangled in this world. And it gives us the means to act, to liberate ourselves, to develop love, the true love. And from there we understand that there are elements. Nothing belongs to me. Even my intelligence does not belong to me. So from there we become completely liberated from the conception of being worshipped. It's for me. It's not that we don't exist, but from there the Lord, He can reciprocate with us. Yes, we accept. He says, I am in everything. What do you want from me? And naturally, when we have a contact with Krishna, when Krishna is love, then we understand what is true love. So the Supreme Lord, what does He do? He hides. He hides. He hides his power. And reveals His sweetness. Because if there's no sweetness, there's no relationship. And from that moment, when Krishna reciprocates with his devotee, he introduces him in his world of love. And the more the devotee is introduced in the kingdom of the Lord, the more he can understand why living beings are unhappy. So what does he do? In the same way that this knowledge liberated him, he's looking to distribute it so that others can also become liberated. It's not complicated. The more you will
une
have
expérience du monde de
an
Krishna,
experience with Krishna's
plus vous
world,
désireriez
the more you will
l'éveil.
desire a relationship with Krishna. This is why
Un dévot, quand
a
il
devotee,
progresse,
when he
il n'est
progresses,
plus intéressé par lui-même et par
is
la
not
vie. Il est
interested by
intéressé par
himself
libérer les êtres vivants.
and
Il n'a
illusion.
plus besoin
It's
des
just
êtres
interested
vivants.
in liberating the living beings.
Tant que vous n'êtes pas
As long as you are
au
not
point d'expérimenter le monde
to
de
the point
Krishna,
of
vous avez un problème
experiencing
avec vous-même.
Krishna's world, then you have a
Parce que
problem
vous
with
avez besoin de
yourself
quelque chose.
because you need something.
Et donc, à partir de là, c'est
And,
très difficile
and
d'aider
then
les autres.
from there, it's
Parce
very
que vous
difficult to
êtes
help
dirigé
others
vers vous-même.
because you are directed toward
Mais
yourself.
une fois que vous recevez
But
cette
once you
miséricorde
receive this
et l'amour
mercy
de Dieu,
and love of God,
que vous êtes libéré,
that you are
vous n'avez plus
liberated,
besoin de
then
quelque
you
chose.
do not need anything from anyone
Vous
in
avez
this
besoin
world.
simplement
You
d'aider
just
les
need
autres à se libérer.
simply to help others to liberate
C'est
themselves.
pourquoi qu'un
This
véritable
is why a
prédicateur,
true preacher
c'est une âme libérée.
is a liberated soul.
Parce que
Because
souvent, les gens qui prêchent à un état
often
immature,
those who preach at an immature level,
ils ne peuvent pas s'empêcher
they cannot
de
stop
prendre quelque chose pour eux.
taking something for themselves.
S'ils parlent bien,
If they
ils
speak
sont
well,
orgueillis,
they
ils
become
veulent avoir des disciples,
proud, they want to have
et puis c'est la
disciples,
guerre des groupes.
and then it's the war of gurus.
Moi, je suis authentique. Lui,
I am
il est pas
authentic, he's not
C'est un
authentic.
trip,
It's such a trip,
mais qui est très désagréable.
but it is very uncomfortable,
Parce qu'on se met à
really,
parler d'amour,
because
et
we
on
speak
crée
about
peur
love but
au nom
create
de
war
l'amour. Et c'est ce qu'on
on
voit
the
dans le
name
monde
of love,
entier.
and that's what we
Cette
see
guerre
around the
des groupes,
world, this
soi-disant
war of
pur
gurus.
dévot, ceci, cela.
I'm a pure devotee or this or that.
Si vous leur dites qu'ils sont pas si
If you
purs,
tell them they're
ils
not so
font tout un
pure,
plan pour vous détruire.
they will make a
Ça
big
devrait
plan
être
to
l'inverse.
destroy you. It should be the opposite.
La pureté, on la mesure à
Purity, we
l'humilité.
measure it
Si
by
quelqu'un
humility.
quelqu'un de pur, vous lui
Someone
dites tu es
pure,
pas
you
pur, il
tell
dit
him
oui,
he's
tout à
not
fait,
pure. He
je
said,
sais que
yes,
tu vas.
you're
Et
true.
il le
You're
pense
right.
vraiment.
I'm not
Il ne
pure.
peut
But
pas avoir de
he
conflit.
feels that really there cannot be any conflict
À moins si Krishna lui dit,
unless if
ça me
Krishna
plaît pas,
tells him,
je veux pas
I'm
que
not
ça soit comme
pleased.
ça,
I
parce
do
que
not want
ça,
it
ça
to
va
be
plus
like
vite. J'ai
this.
besoin que tu fasses ça, ça, ça.
I need you
C'est
to do like
possible.
this or that.
Mais
It's possible,
dans tous
but
les cas,
in
un
most
Vaishnava
cases,
qualifié,
in all
il
cases,
acceptera,
a qualified Vaishnava,
parce
he
qu'il
will
ne se sent
accept
pas pur.
because he does not feel pure.
C'est pourquoi,
This is why
quand il prêche,
when he
il
preaches,
prêche une harmonie
he preaches
uniforme. Les
a
autres, non,
true
ils peuvent
harmony.
pas.
The others, no, they
Ils se
cannot.
battent comme des chiens
They
et des
fight
chats.
like cats and
Et tu as
dogs.
les disciples, en fait, qui sont
And
derrière. Oui,
you have
ça,
the
tu vas
disciples, they are
passer par
behind
là,
them,
tu
and
vas
they say, he's
passer
a pure
par là.
devotee,
On
he's a
s'en
pure
sort pas.
devotee. Then we
Et
cannot get out of
finalement, quand
this.
les gens
And
approchent,
finally, when
ils
people
disent, mais
approach,
qu'est-ce que c'est
they
ce
say,
truc?
but what is this
C'est
thing?
des fous.
These people are crazy.
Il n'y a même pas de paix.
There's
Ils
not
parlent
even
de
any peace, but they
Vous
speak
comprenez?
about
Donc
love.
c'est très
You
important
understand? So it's very important
d'avoir
to have
un recul
a distance
sur la religiosité. La religiosité, ça veut
towards
dire conflit.
religiosity.
Ils ne peuvent
Religiosity
pas
means
voir.
conflict. They cannot see
Ah,
each
ils
other.
ont tous de l'amour pour tout
They
le
all
monde,
have
ils ne
love
peuvent
for
pas voir
everyone,
l'un
but they
l'autre.
cannot see each
Ça, c'est ce
other.
qu'on appelle la religion.
This
La
is what we call
spiritualité,
religion.
c'est pour
Spirituality,
ça qu'on est obligé de
this
donner
is
un
why
compte.
we
En
must,
réalité, la religion,
in
c'est pas
reality,
parfait.
religion should be perfect.
Mais les gens, maintenant, ils veulent
But
même
people
plus entendre
today,
parler de
they don't
religion.
even
Le mot
want to
religion, ça
hear
veut
about
dire
religion.
conflit,
For them, religion means
guerre.
conflict, war.
Donc on envoie le mot
So we use the
spiritualité.
name
Parce que
spirituality
spiritualité,
because
ça veut dire
spirituality
l'âme.
means the soul.
Ça veut dire connaissance
That
pure.
means
Bhagavad
pure
Gita.
knowledge, Bhagavad
C'est le
Gita.
début.
This
On
is the
parle de
beginning.
l'âme. Je
We
ne suis
speak
pas le
about the
corps.
soul.
Je ne
I am
suis pas
not the
musulman.
body.
Je ne suis
I'm
pas
not
hindou.
Muslim. I'm not Hindu.
Je ne suis pas
I'm not
chrétien. Je ne
Christian.
suis pas bouddhiste.
I'm not
Je suis
Buddhist.
au-delà de ça.
I am
Ça,
beyond
ça
all of
commence.
this.
Ça veut dire
And
qu'à
then it
partir de
starts.
là,
And then that
on
means from
commence à
there,
espiffrer.
we
On peut
can
commencer. Ah non,
start
j'aime pas
to.
ça. Parce que là, en fait, ce qui se passe, les gens
Because
qui
what
pratiquent
happens
le
is that
comme
in the whole world,
Vaishnavisme,
even
comme les
Vaishnavism,
chrétiens,
they do
ils n'ont
not
pas
have
le
that
Bhagavad
love.
Gita.
They have the
Regarde,
Bhagavad Gita,
ils
but
s'identifient en tant
they
qu'institution.
identify as an institution.
C'est balèze quand même.
It's crazy, you know.
Ils parlent de ça toute la
They
journée,
speak
ils
about
parlent
this
comme
the
des
whole
chiens et des
day,
chats. Mais
but they
l'illusion,
fight like cats and dogs.
elle est puissante, l'illusion.
But the illusion is so powerful.
Pourquoi? Parce que
Why?
les prédicateurs, ils
Because
sont
the
pas
preachers,
qualifiés.
they're not qualified.
Ils prêchent
They preach
la dualité.
duality.
On matérialise
We materialize
ce qui est transcendant.
what is transcendental.
Non.
No.
Théoriquement,
Theoretically,
si
theoretically,
dans une institution, c'est
if we
pour
are in an
libérer
institution,
les
it's to free
conceptions.
ourselves from conceptions.
C'est vrai.
It's true.
Mais qu'est-ce qu'on voit?
But what do we
C'est
see?
prendre dans tellement de choses.
We
Et
are
c'est vrai
caught in
qu'on
so
doit se
many
libérer.
things, and that's true. We must free ourselves from this. Even myself,
Je me suis fait avoir.
I was
Je peux le dire.
I was
Je me
caught
suis
by
fait
this.
avoir.
I was
Parce
cheated
qu'on est
by
tous
this
obligés de passer par ces
because we
chemins.
all need to pass through this
Alors bien
once.
sûr,
Of course,
les êtres ont des désirs.
the living beings, they have
Il y a
desires.
différentes voies.
There are different paths.
L'action intéressée qui permet d'aller au
Fruitive
paradis,
activity that
la
allows to go
quotidienne
to
qui permet
paradise,
d'atteindre
to heaven.
Brahmajyoti,
Gyan,
Nirvana,
which means you go to Brahmajyoti, to Nirvana, and the path of pure bhakti, which allows us to understand our eternal connection with the Supreme Lord. So, but everyone needs this as the right for this desire for his guru, and even if someone is cheated, this is right. Why wanting to sacrifice him? What is we need to preach is tolerance, respect. When you come somewhere, respect the thought. Do not come, oh, they are wrong, you were cheated. No, it's not going to work. You will be rejected. It's normal. Everyone does this because we cannot live other way. But if everyone has true respect, then you can go everywhere by respecting others. You have the right to think, but not to disturb. And in this way, people will believe, they will accept a spirituality. It's not possible otherwise. It's impossible. Most of the time, people, they have a faith and they cannot accept other faiths because it disturbs their own faith. They have doubts because they're not self-realized souls. That's why they fight. They cannot accept that there are other conceptions somewhere else. There's all kinds of things, of ways. The Lord reveals himself in so many different ways. He's in the heart. Yatamam Prapadyante. He reveals himself according to the qualification of a person. So we must open our consciousness. We must truly make this work. It's very important. Because without this, Kapiladev explains, we will not be able to develop love of God. The one who worships me on the altar, in the temple, and who outside, he does not see me in the heart of every living being, his worship does not bear fruit. So it's very important, good respect, to understand people, to accompany them at their level. Every day, I have 10-15 people who contact me, for example, for advice, and it's not many, but automatically what do? I do not direct them towards my faith, I direct them towards what they are ready, what they are able to understand and practice. If someone is a Christian, I encourage him to be Christian. If he's atheist, I encourage him to at least do good activities, to respect. The goal is that people can progress. What is the point? To preach our dogma, and people will simply reject you and develop hatred towards you. No, we should be the friend of living beings. A Vaishnava is a friend. And a friend, what does he feel in his heart? He feels what a person needs. He feels his level. Why? Because Krishna is in his heart. And Krishna will make him feel, this person needs this. So what happens when you go to give a good advice? It makes him feel good. If he feels good, he will want a second advice, a third, a fourth. But because it is given by a Vaishnava, it is just like a spiritual instruction. The person progresses, she becomes dear to Krishna, to the Lord, even if it's indirectly. There's a connection that starts, because the Vaishnava, he is never disconnected from the Supreme Lord. Everything he does is with the intelligence that the Lord gave him. This is what is mystical, is that the Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada was saying, it's someone that is expert in engaging the living beings. He can see the person, she has such abilities and she can do this. So if it's with devotees, it can be with the whole world. To be a friend of living beings, that means to give them something that will help them so that they can progress. But for this, we cannot have any problem with ourselves anymore. If you have problems with yourself, you will focus on, oh, it doesn't go well with my wife, it doesn't go well with my children. We cannot think about others. It's just focused on ourselves. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have this. I have this. It's without end. Problems, they are without any end. And the life turns. Time advances on and on and on. You're not sitting on a sofa. You should sit straight. You're a big girl, and you should teach your child also to, because she's growing now. You're in front of the deity. You have to sit straight. Otherwise, your spiritual life will not last. It's important. We must have good respect. If we do not have good respect, what will it be outside? Most people, they have good respect when they come to the temple. But they go to the church, they have good respect. They put the maximum. And as soon as they come out, they start with something else. Most people are like this. So if in the temple we do not act properly, then at the outside it's finished. If the parents do not teach their children so that they have proper respect, then it's not going to work. It's not possible. A child can understand. He can do at a moment. He can have a discrimination. He must learn with love for their own well-being. It's important. If we speak with love, a child will feel it. If we do not speak with love, then it will be difficult. But a mother or a father, they're there for the children. So we must teach our children in a way that they can progress. This is the duty of the parents. It's not that we force, but we must educate them. It's a point that is important because it's part of evolution. Everything we learn as a child, we put it into practice when we are big, when we are older. True or not? Unless at some point, of course, we fall under like higher knowledge that really illuminates us. Most people, what they learn from their parents and to put into practice, they incorporate with knowledge, and then does not go further after that. This is why there's a system of schooling. In Vedic society, there was also a school, so they understood. They taught them how to liberate from material existence. Before we are taught to entangle ourselves in material life. It's different. This is why those who have the fortune to be born in a family of spiritualists, they must learn a spirituality. And then when they're older, they have the choice. Either they accept, either they reject, either they accept something different. But if we live with them, we must share with them what we live. It's normal. Because everyone does this. Even a materialistic person. He shares with his parents what he likes, music, food. You have no choice. Don't you agree? I know when I was born in a family, I lived in the poor district of Paris. I saw this, I saw that, I saw this, I saw that. I did everything. I drank alcohol, I smoked, I did this and that. Because you take the examples of the parents. It's important. So, we're all spiritual masters. We're all gurus. Because we must teach the proper things to the living beings. Because the living beings, they need help. That's something that is important. We need to learn. Everyone learns. It's important. This is why, naturally, the greatest teacher, who is the Supreme Lord, he gives his own path, his law, his knowledge. But this knowledge is based on eternity. And eternity means the soul, the connection that links us, the soul, to the Supreme Soul. But who is the Supreme Soul? The Supreme Lord. This is why there are different kinds of knowledge connected to different qualifications. We must help others, at least, to have a next birth that is favorable. It's very important. Do not think that people will not receive the reactions of the activities. The material world, is 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 like it is. It's like just like fire, it burns. You cannot stop fire from burning. And except the yogis, the liberated souls, they can maintain. But 99% of people, they may say that fire will not burn, but they cannot be stopped from this burning. They cannot stop this law of the fire burning. In the same way, when we act independently from the Supreme Lord, we receive a reaction. And this, you cannot take it out. At least people should act in a positive way to receive at least things that are favorable for their life and their future life. At least this. And amongst all these people, maybe a few of them will be able to be liberated. Maybe some people will be able to understand their eternal relationship with the Lord. It's rare, but the soul is eternal. Time is something that is transitory. The day where the living being understands his relationship with Krishna, it is finished. It's just the body that changes. But the soul does not change because it becomes realized.